Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play Rhino Hero Super Battle. It's ages 5 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it takes 10 to 15 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to not be the one to make the tower fall down. If you're playing with more than 2 players, whoever makes the tower fall down loses, and the winner is whoever has the superhero medal at that time. If you're playing and the person with the superhero medal makes the tower fall down, then everyone else is joint winners for that game. Also, if you're very good at building, you can play until there are no floors left to draw, and then all floors in a player's hand have been used or they cannot be used. The last turn would be completed, and then the winner is the player with the superhero medal. Game setup. Place out the 3 build tiles in any order. For an easier game, place them this side with the higher number of yellow build points face up. If you want a more difficult game, then you can flip them over and place with the side that has fewer build points. Next up, select the player you're playing with. These will be moving up the tower over the course of the game, and shuffle up the build cards and deal 3 to each player. This is a 2-player game we're setting up here. And deal 3 face up by the side of the board. This is your draw pile here. And then place everything else off to the side. You have short and tall walls, some different dice, monkeys, and a hero medal. Next up, the first player is supposed to be whoever is the best climber. Decide that however you want. And then we'll say that it's this player. And then play proceeds clockwise from them. There are 6 action points for a turn, but it's not that tricky. To start out, you pick a card you want to play from your hand. Nobody gets to see this but you. This player is going to go ahead and choose this card. And this gives them 2 tall walls, which they get to place out on any of these yellow starting points. And we'll say they're just doing right in the center. And then they place this on top. Next up, you see if there is a spider monkey on the card. There is not on this one. This is what the little blue angry looking guy is. The spider monkey, not on here, so you don't have to worry about that. And next up, you take this light blue die and you roll it, and that's what your hero is going to do, how they're going to move up. So let's say they go ahead and they roll a 2. This is, you look on the side, and this, even though this seems very tall, you only have base, and this is 1. So even though they roll a 2, this is as high as they would be able to go for their first turn. Same thing, if you rolled a -1, on a later turn, if they were up here and they rolled a -1, they would go down 1. But for here, if they're starting on the ground and they get a -1, they just stay here. So we'll say that they went ahead and rolled their 0, 1, 2, 3, and a -1. We'll say they rolled a 2. Now at this point, you check to see if you're going to have a super battle. That only happens if there's another player on your floor. So we'll cover that in the next turn. No battle here, nobody else is on your spot. So you just look to see if you get the superhero medal. If you're the highest up, why yes, they are. And then you need to draw to have your hand get back to 3. And you can choose from either of the 3 cards that are face up, or you can choose from the top of the draw pile. We'll say they're gonna go ahead and take this one, sure. And then you just refill the draw pile and place another one up. Okay, so it's the next player's turn. And to start, sometimes if it's later in the game and your walls, all 3 that you have, don't fit anywhere, you have the option of discarding 1, 2, or 3 to the bottom of the discard pile, and then drawing the same number you discarded back into your hand, and then refilling. If you discarded these 3 and then drew these 3, you'd refill this, and that would be it. Your turn would basically be skipped. So you don't want to do that if possible. This player is going to select a building card, and we'll say they go ahead and they select this one, and they get a green means short wall, yellow means tall wall. So we're going to do that and get to the spider monkey here in a second. So they are allowed to place it not all on the same level if they do not wish. They can do a big one, a little one up here, a big one down here, and build like this. You were allowed to use 2 hands while building, and you were allowed to have these pieces overlap, and you only have to use these yellow circles as your building points when you're on the main floor. Oh, which this one is not on, so that would not be allowed. Here, we'll put it over here instead. And then once you're up a level, you can put your walls wherever you like on the pieces here. So they're going to go ahead and put it on the side, but they don't have to. They could put it anywhere up here. Next up, they need to resolve the spider monkey. You can hang it by the tail or by the hand, anywhere on your piece you just placed. And we'll say they go ahead and place it right here. And then if it falls while you're placing it, no big deal. You just get to place it again. And that goes too for when it's the next person's turn. If they make this fall down while they're building, no big deal. They just have to replace it. However, if you aren't very careful when you replace it, it can make the tower fall down. So you have to be very careful while doing so. One last point on building, all of your floors must be horizontal. You can't ever place one where it would be like this. That is not permitted. So they always have to end up being horizontal. So next up, green player gets to roll the blue die, and we'll say they roll a 1, and they can go anywhere they like on this floor. You look anywhere that you've built, and the first floor up, they get to place their hero there. And now we get to have our first super battle. Whoever the incoming player on that floor gets the red attack die. The defending player gets the blue defense die. Red die has only even numbers, blue die has only odd numbers, so you will never have a tie. They each roll their die, and here we got red had a 2 and blue had a 1. So red won, and blue must go down a floor, and now red gets to have the superhero medal. If you're playing with more players and there were more characters, and you built up a little bit higher. So you had somebody on, let's say, we had somebody on a 3rd floor, and these two battled, and orange lost and went down a floor, and there was still another character on this floor, on the same floor. It doesn't matter if they're not right by them, if they're anywhere on the same level, then you have a second battle, and it's always the new character that has entered that floor that gets to use the red die, and the one who is already there is on defense, and they get to use the blue die. So if it was that, then they'd battle it out again, and if red got a 6 and blue got a 1, then this player would go down. So anytime people are on the same level, they battle. So we're at a 2-player game. We'll put this back, and we'll say orange is here, and green is back down on the main level. Here's what the end of a game might look like. We have built a rather modest tower here, so it can fit in the video. These get incredibly high, very intricate. So let me show you what's going on. We have orange at the top of the tower. So they currently have the superhero medal, but it's their turn, and they're going to select a card to play that has a short wall and a monkey. So first they get the short wall, and they're going to place it here and place their floor. And if you run out of monkeys, you just grab one from a lower floor when that happens and put it on the higher floor. We'll say they had some trouble doing this, and then, it fell over. So that's it for the game. Even though they had the superhero medal, they lost because they knocked over the tower. And so green, the elephant, is the winner of this round. So that's how to play Rhino Hero Super Battle. Even adults seem to really like this game. It's a great mix of strategy, dexterity, and a little bit of luck. So check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.